Hello there! O objetivo desse vídeo é uma coletânea de 6 áudios do básico ao avançado para você praticar o seu listening, a sua audição, que a gente também chama de compreensão auditiva. Então você vai ver que no começo de cada áudio vai ter o título dele e vai mudar a imagem aqui também na tela. E nós vamos ter também aqui a legenda para você poder acompanhar à medida que você ouve. Ou você pode simplesmente ouvir sem olhar a legenda. Ok? Então vamos nessa. E se esse áudio for interessante para você, se esse vídeo for interessante para você, você deixa o seu like aqui e não se esqueça de se inscrever aqui em nosso canal. Vamos nessa, boa audição.
Unique hotels. Which do you like, the world of science or the world of fiction? In this week's vacation post, we discover a hotel made for fans of nature and another hotel for fans of stories.
Bubble Hotel, Allo, France. Just imagine sleeping in a giant clear bubble in a forest. That's exactly what happens here. At night, hotel guests lie in bed and watch the stars and moon. Each bubble has a comfortable bed and a nice bathroom with a shower. There's also an air conditioner to keep the room cool in summer and a heater to keep it warm when it's cold outside. Each bubble room is different. Guests choose the Zen bubble if they want to feel relaxed, or they stay in the Love Nature bubble for a beautiful view. Sometimes there are rabbits and squirrels playing outside. Is there anything missing? Well, yes, there isn't a TV because no one needs a TV in a bubble. The Roxbury, New York, the United States. In the mountains near New York City, there's a very unusual hotel. Its name is the Roxbury. It has many rooms, but every single room is different. There's the Wizard's Emeralds room, for example. It has a yellow road in the middle, just like in The Wizard of Oz. There's a green shower in the bathroom with big red flowers on the walls. Do you like sweet things? Mary Ann's coconut cream pie room looks just like a dessert, good enough to eat. The bed is round like a pie, and the ceiling looks like whipped cream. How about space? When you walk into George's space pad, you see an enormous red bathtub. It glows in the dark. There isn't a shower, but there are silver curtains, crazy lights, and 2 cozy sofas. It's really out of this world.
I won a contest.
Alyssa? What are you doing here in San Diego?
Matthew, what a surprise meeting you here. Actually, I'm here because I won a contest, and the prize was 1 week at the Seaside Resort Hotel, right on the beach.
Wow, that's fantastic. Just one night in that hotel costs over $400. Did the contest pay for your flight to San Diego?
Actually, I'm afraid of flying. I've never flown on a plane. But I didn't need to pay for the train fare from Los Angeles to San Diego and back.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. Oh, and I think I saw Mario Lopez here yesterday. You know, the actor.
Maybe you did. He was born here, you know.
Really? Wow, I'd love to meet him. I've never met a famous person.
Well, keep your eyes open, and maybe you will. Famous people sometimes stay at the Seaside Resort Hotel. I've heard that it's very beautiful and that there are lots of cool things to do there.
Oh, yeah. The hotel activities are lots of fun. I even tried windsurfing.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, it was. But I did something stupid. I took my wallet with me and almost lost it. I'm always very careful with my wallet, and I have never lost it. It almost fell into the ocean. Luckily, I caught it.
That was lucky. Well, it sounds like you've really enjoyed your trip.
For the most part. I mean, I got sunburned, as you can see. But I'll remember this trip forever. I've even been posting on a blog. I'll email you the address.
Nice. I look forward to reading it. Well, enjoy the rest of the week.
Thanks, I will.
My ideal career. 1. Alex.
What kind of job do I have in mind? Well, I don't want a regular 9-to-5 job, and eventually I'd like to work for myself. I'm good at drawing, and I think it would be fun to design people's homes and businesses. I've actually been reading blogs about designing, and I'm looking into programs at universities.
That sounds great. Have you tried designing anything?
Well, yes. I've actually done some drawings recently of my dream house. Would you like to see them?
Definitely.
2. Evelyn.
What kind of career are you planning for yourself?
I don't know. I think I'd like to have a job where I can help people. Everybody else in my family is in business, and I'm not good at selling or negotiating. It's just not for me. I know I'd love working overseas, though. Maybe in a children's hospital in a developing country. But that's a long way away. I have to get into medical school first, and that's not going to be easy.
3. Edward.
So, what kind of job are you looking for?
Well, I haven't made up my mind. I enjoy working with people, and I love traveling. I don't want a job where I'm stuck in an office all day.
Are you interested in working in business? That's where you can sometimes make good money.
I'm not really interested in making a lot of money at this point in my life. I just want to get out and see the world. I'll worry about money later.
Not in our lifetime. 1. Crime.
Well, I think crime will completely change in the future.
How so?
Nowadays, people use their debit and credit cards more than they use cash. How we spend money is changing. I think there will be less street crime in the future. Crime will become more intelligent and digital. There will be more computer hacker criminals.
That sounds more serious.
I know. Crimes will definitely become more severe. Instead of stealing some cash from my purse, a criminal could go online to my bank account and steal a lot more. It's scary to think about.
2. Space travel.
Do you really think people will live in space in the future? I don't know if I believe that.
Oh, definitely. I think within 100 years, people will be living on other planets.
Really? Like you and I could be living on another planet?
Well, not in our lifetime. But I think within the next 50 years, humans will have traveled to other galaxies.
Yes, I agree with that. And what about extraterrestrial life? Will we have made contact with aliens from other galaxies?
I don't know. But if we do, I sure hope they're friendly.
3. Environment.
Every time I read the newspaper, there's another environmental disaster. Do you think environmental problems will eventually become a thing of the past?
Definitely. There are some amazing ideas to clean up our oceans. I think in the next 20 years, we will have cleaned up all the trash in the oceans.
I sure hope so. Some of those garbage patches in the ocean are larger than some countries.
I know. I read that non-biodegradable trash is the biggest problem in the oceans and on land.
Non-biodegradable trash, like plastic?
Exactly. I think in the next 30 years, we will have eliminated plastic and found materials to use that are better for the environment.
4. Energy.
You know, I was reading this article about energy of the future. Fossil fuels like oil and coal have become our main energy sources.
Yeah, but we need safer energy.
This article says we're making progress with other kinds of energy. It predicts that in 50 years, we will be using only green energy sources, like wind and solar energy.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
And it said that with electronic devices, we won't have to wait for them to charge.
We'll be able to charge our phones or computers in just a few minutes.
5. Money.
With all the technology we use every day, sometimes it feels strange that we're still using paper money that can rip or get damaged.
Yeah, it seems old-fashioned next to credit cards with chips and sensors, doesn't it? It's just a matter of time before paper money isn't made at all anymore.
You think so?
Definitely. No one will use cash, and everyone will have cards.
If that happens, then I think everyone in the world will eventually use the same currency.
So only one currency and no more cash? It sounds a lot easier, but I'm sure there will be new problems too.
Oh, there always are.
What's the real story? Broadcast news. 1.
It's 7 o'clock and time for the news. First, this just in from the World Health Organization, or WHO. WHO has reported that the global epidemic of tuberculosis, also known as TB, is not as widespread as it was in the past. However, although the number of cases of TB has been decreasing worldwide, this disease is still a problem. According to a recent study, about 1/4 of all known TB cases are untreatable because of new drug-resistant strains of the disease. The drugs previously used to treat TB are simply not working on those strains. WHO has been developing new drugs to combat the problem, and they have an international program to educate people about the dangers of TB.
2.
And now we have a report on a scandal involving famous 19th century painter Vincent van Gogh and one of his most famous paintings, Sunflowers, completed in 1888. The painting was bought by a large multinational corporation for several $1 million in 1987. At that time, a scandal erupted in London over the authenticity of this painting, with many critics claiming that the painting was a forgery. After years of debate, 2 experts from the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam finally authenticated the painting, stating that it is indeed a genuine Van Gogh.
3.
Next, we go to Mexico, where a hurricane pounded Cancun and nearby areas last night, leaving many people homeless. The strong winds and heavy rains made for horrible conditions. Floods and landslides destroyed homes and cars, especially in the beachfront areas. Rescue operations are particularly difficult because streets are blocked, in most cases, by mud. It's believed that some people are trapped inside their homes and cannot get out. Most people have left their homes and are now safely in temporary shelters. Mexican authorities predict that the disaster is going to have a huge impact on the tourist business in the area this year.
4.
And finally, a story for all you parents out there. How often do your kids push you to your limit? And what do you do about it? One tired and harassed mother from Illinois decided she'd had enough yesterday. Instead of yelling at her children as she normally would, she decided to leave. She walked out the door and climbed a tree. The tree with her children's treehouse in it, that is. She told her children she had decided to stay in their treehouse until they started appreciating her more. She put a sign in front of the treehouse that said, "On strike. No cooking, cleaning, doctoring, banking, or driving until demands met." The children tried to persuade her to come down, but were unsuccessful. Finally, one of them had the smart idea of baking their mother's favorite treat, brownies. Well, they must have smelled good because that did the trick. Mom agreed to come down and read the contract her children wrote, promising not to fight, along with other promises of good behavior. That's it for now. We'll be back in an hour with more news.
Changing Times. Generation Y. Listen to a presentation by a corporate executive about 2 generations of employees.
Welcome, everyone. I really appreciate you all taking time out of your busy day to attend this presentation. As stated in the invitation, the topic is Accommodating Generation Y in the Workplace. Let me begin with a little background information. You may be familiar with the term Generation X. For my purposes, Generation X means the group of people born starting in the late 1960s up until about 1980. I think most of the managers in this room fall in that category, right? I thought so. So, what about Generation Y? Well, roughly speaking, Generation Y covers all people born between around 1980 and 2000. Most of our staff is now Generation Y, and this will, of course, be true for some time.
That's true. Yep.
However, our management style has been slow in catching up with this trend. We're still basically a Generation X style management team, and we've got to change to focus on the needs of Generation Y employees. To assist you in transitioning your departments, upper management has developed a 3-point plan. First, you've all become accustomed to managing Gen Xers who like a clear dividing line between private life and work life. Generation Yers, on the other hand, are often more flexible and tolerant when balancing work and private life. Therefore, we're introducing a new corporate social networking website for corporate communications of all kinds, available 24/7, to give employees more flexibility. Information on how to create an account and suggestions on how to make the best use of this system will be sent to everyone shortly. Our second point may directly affect your management style. The Gen Xers you've come to know so well often want to be left alone to do their work. They're often happiest with a hands-off type of boss, and that's fine. Now, the expectations that Gen Yers have of a boss and colleagues are a little different. They want to regularly share their opinions and ideas with their managers and supervisors, and they want and value work-related comments and advice from them. To meet this need and open lines of communication between staff and management, we will be asking all managers to make themselves available 1 hour per week to speak with staff informally, listening to employees' concerns, and offering advice and feedback. Lastly, our Generation X employees have always been focused on their own job security and financial security, and that's a responsible thing to do. Generation Y, however, is more volunteer-minded and known for wanting to help others. And that's not a bad thing either. We want to encourage this spirit of volunteerism, and that's why we're beginning a community outreach program. Any employee who wants to volunteer in the community for a worthwhile local cause will get up to 14 hours a year of paid time off to do just that.
Yeah, cool. Wow, this is good.
Our Gen Y staffers should be excited about this opportunity, and we hope others will get involved too. One final note. While we're instituting these changes to better meet the needs of our Generation Y employees, please don't be inconsiderate of the feelings of your Generation X staff. Reassure them that none of the new programs will require any extra time or work from them, but welcome them to take part if they want to. Well, that concludes my presentation. Now I'd like to open it up to questions.